was Surgeon General, I learned many things. I learned that the world loves you but owes you nothing. To believe that the world is going to treat you good because you're a woman or the Surgeon General is like believing that a bull is not going to hit you because you're a vegetarian. I also learned that having a vision is tremendously important because you do not know where you're going. You are already there. I also learned that service is the rent we pay for living, and that service will set you apart. Service to God, service to country, and service to community. But more than anything, I learned that when you get to the top of your ladder, you don't forget your language, your culture, or where you came from. Everything that we Hispanics must do to improve the lives of the future generation must be done with great care for our traditions and for our culture. For how can we expect to raise our children to honor our customs and traditions and the cultural traits if we lose our identity and self-respect? Talking about not forgetting, let's remember that it was a hot July evening in 1848 when the chapel in Seneca Falls in New York echoed the words that are still changing the world. A 32-year-old Elizabeth Cady Stanton said, "Women have no voice in government, no vote on elections, no place in higher education, no equality in divorce law, and no right to keep the wages that she earns. And this she conspired, destroys the self-confidence of her powers, lessens her self-respect, and makes her willing to lead a dependent and abject life." It was that on July 19, 1848, that women met to discuss the Declaration of Sentiments in Seneca Falls, New York. This document put forth a very controversial idea at the time that we women were be given the right to vote. And achieving such a goal needed a change in the US Constitution, and that amendment did not occur until 72 years later in 1920, when for the first time women were able to vote in the United States, but we were not the first country. It was New Zealand in 1893. But thanks to this convention, in the little town of Seneca Falls, women's suffrage movement started. And it was the Declaration of Sentiments signed by 68 women and 32 men, including the abolitionist Frederick Douglass, that affirmed a very good earlier revolution, the one that said, "We hold this truth to be self-evident, that all women and all men are created equal." Having accomplished that 98 years ago, let us know where we have been, where we are, and where do we need to go from here. Because, friends, it is clear that we need an agenda in which both equality and respect are still demanded. 98 years ago, we must remind the world that the growing strength of the woman is in her forehead, not in her forearm. Therefore, if we are to succeed in the years ahead, let's unite in putting an end to damaging stereotypes, stifling policies, and lack of opportunities to promote women to get where they deserve. As Margaret Thatcher said, when you come into politics, if you set out to be liked, you will be prepared to compromise on everything and anything, and you will accomplish nothing. So this morning, as America's first female, first Hispanic Surgeon General of the United States, I'm terrifically proud to share my thoughts with you because there will be no compromises. Remember, the only time that a woman is helpless is when her nail polish is drying. To start, we are 159 million women in the United States, and we have said, I want to set priorities. I want to be relevant. I want to live well, be healthy, look good, feel good. I want to get more done in one day. I want to take care of myself and my family. I want to be what is mine, and more than anything, I want a pantyhose that does not run. But in reality, women want to remind you that it's hard to be a woman because you must think like a man, act like a lady, look like a younger version of yourself, and work like a horse. Colleagues, in spite of the best intentions of many, and although we have come a long way, we still have a world in which, as I said before, women earn less than a man for the same work. Women are still being torn between career and children, and women are still trying to live up to the potential in the workplace that is still designed around other people's rules and other people's needs. Let me give you an example. In 2012, in this United States of America, a man made $49,000. The woman made $37,000 for doing the same job. These statistics do not prove discrimination, but they should at least raise some eyebrows. But the disadvantage for women does not stop there. Do you know that we spend 11.5 years of our lives taking care of our family members, and in some cases even of our mother-in-law that used to hate us? This means that women's capacity to earn is even less than men during the lifespan of their career. This translates into a reduced income in their retirement years, with women receiving an average of $500 less in Social Security than men. Ladies, remember that this inequality in benefits places us at a terrific disadvantage in our retirement years, when virtually the income of most of us women is 3 out of 10, 65 and older, depend on their Social Security check. This demographic shift in the elderly will bring not only a crisis in the entitlement benefits of the United States, but we women must take a central part of the struggle, because we will do most of the suffering and doing most of the caring. It's at times like this that I realize that we women face so many challenges. While retaining our pride without lingering at the altar of personal ambition, we must transform without transgressing, share without imposing, and integrate without interrupting. But experience tells me that women of all cultures, the careers, and social classes have those characteristics in abundance, and such characteristics are traditionally not given room for expression or for reward. Something has to change. For most women, the main problem is learning to say no without feeling guilty. So let's remind the world, today, almost 60% of women work outside the house. If women didn't work, the family income will drop by 32%. Women who are part of a dual career couple are out-earning their husbands at an unprecedented rate. Currently, 18% of married women makes $5,000 more than their husband. And if you live in sin, houses without partners, 22% of women earn more than the man and hold higher educational degrees. But ladies, never, never. So, an advice, never, never marry for money. In the long run, it's easier to borrow. And how about the house engineer? What if women that work at home get paid for what they do? Almost 53% of women stay at home today and do not go to work. Women that work from home work close to 92 hours per week, doing a minimum of 10 jobs. Executive housekeeper, chef, facilities manager, network administrator, psychologist, taxi driver, janitor, laundry manager, accountant, event planner, groundkeeper, nutritionist, plumber, staff house, photographer, tailor, coach, van driver. Even when the woman works at home, deserves the same pay that women that work outside of the home. The salary.com said, stay-at-home moms would earn $134,000 annually for all they do, and working moms should earn $85,000 for the portion of work they do when they come home. The company reported that overall women work an average of 90 hours a week, whether they are working at home or working outside. So ladies, let's start getting paid for what we deserve, whether at home or outside the home. Adicionalmente, there are women business owners that make up 48% of all the privately held businesses in the United States today, generating 19.1 million jobs and contributing more than $2.5 trillion in sales to the nation's economy. Señores, más respeto, más respeto. As these figures attest, we need more respect and less patronizing of women in business. Remember, all women are beautiful, but when we add beauty combined with brains, obviously we become a lethal combination. So my friends, we're here this morning to tell the world women can do anything they want. Women can dream of greatness. Women are able to take risks, and women can be assertive and still be feminine. To paraphrase a sticker I read, women who behave well don't make history.